trying to change roles. It's still stuck trying to change clothes. Lock in, lock out. Clock in.
Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of GMS and all to the brothers out there doing this in sincerity and truth. Today's topic, we want to talk about, current news and events, but we want to name this that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. I want to start off with this first scripture, which is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Today we've been looking at a few articles and stuff, and not only that, just things that's just been going on chaotically throughout the world. We've been talking about things that's going on in like Ukraine, Russia, Venezuela, and even other places that people have forgotten about that have gone through these natural disasters. And then you had this big earthquake that happened in Chile. A lot of these things are due to that HEART program. Sometimes we got to bring that up, man, because this is the type of device that Esau is using, to destroy this earth, because they're wicked. And not only that, they're drilling into the ground, fracking. These type of things that Esau is doing right now is totally bleeding the earth out, and it's causing the earth to just, one, you're already killing the earth, but it's just causing the ground to just shift and pieces of the earth falling apart, where people are having tsunamis and stuff like that, sinkholes, things of that nature. And one of the most recent things I was bringing up was about Venezuela. Let's see here if I could pull this up real quick. Right now, as Venezuela, they're going through their food shortages and stuff because their total economy is crashed. And it's not just happening here. It's happening all over the world. You also got the same situations going on with Greece, Italy, all parts of Europe too, that people don't bring up much because right now their focus is a goddamn airplane that's fucking at the bottom of the damn ocean. And a few people are even speculating that these devils, man, y'all done did something other than these people just sinking to the damn ocean. I'm going to read this article on Venezuela. It's called Venezuelans Are Marked with Numbers to Stand in Line at Government Supermarkets. And it said it's hard to get a sense of what food shortage is like unless you live through one. But this tidbit from Venezuela serves as a chilling illustration. The lines to get into government supermarkets are so long that people mark their arms with their place in line. It's not a permanent tattoo, just a pin, but the point is to make sure that the long lines stay as orderly as possible. And you can't tell me that's not a little test subject right there to try to get this chip going.
That's right.
You can continue to read the article, but it's just showing you how bad it is. And I always say this, man, when we out there on those highways and hedges, you're really not going to see all this until it hits your front doorstep. Because people in the U.S. think it's okay. It says here, according to a source familiar with what's going on, this number scribbling takes place outside large cities like Caracas, and it doesn't happen in private supermarkets. However, private supermarkets can set a limit to the number of items a person can buy. So you're not even allowed to buy as much food as you want, even if you have the money. That's how terrible it is right now.
Man.
Brother, you got a preset?
I was just gonna pull up this. This is that wisdom of Solomon. It just keeps ringing true. We keep talking about it. This is chapter 14, verse 21. And this was an occasion to deceive the world. For men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God. But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, these so great plagues called they peace.
Hey, and that goes into another thing I just thought of, man. Like, these devils are so wicked right now, man. They even got all types of plagues going on. It ain't just going to be famine, right? They had an Ebola outbreak up in Canada.
Yep.
How the hell, man, last time I recall when I was younger looking at this stuff on the news, Ebola outbreaks were going on in Africa.
Yep.
And now this shit done reached here all the way up to Canada.
Yep.
So, what else? It's meningitis.
Yep.
All these type of plagues that used to be back during the times of what the hell you call it? Where the government collapsed. Yeah, during the World Wars. Yeah, you hit it dead on point, brother, because this happened during the time where the government was falling back in the early 1900s. Mm-hmm. So, these are the type of things just coming out at full blast, and it's so chaotic that, look, people are not ignorant to this type of thing, people's minds are even being processed today as we speak, because I was listening to Bill Maher, and he was talking about the Fort Hood shooting. Because we down here in Texas. I live near that military base. And, they're saying now, like, hey, is this becoming a normal thing?
Right.
It's like, it's so common now, a shooting in America. It's almost like the bombings, the car bombings in Baghdad, or a ferry capsizing in the Philippines, or a train wreck in India. It's just what we do here.
So we're starting to look like the Middle East right now. There's all types of bombings. There's still all these shootings and stuff going on. And more people are ending up missing. I can't tell you how many times when I ride down the highway to go preach at the Akim that I see an Amber Alert. When it pops up on my phone or it's on some type of a sign up on the highway.
Right.
There's always a missing elderly person, mainly kids. There's always some missing kids that's getting kidnapped down here.
Yep.
And it's real big, man. The wickedness is 10 times bigger than what it was. These used to be like rare incidents you used to see, especially when I was a child. Yeah, you were supposed to yell stranger danger if a person come up talking to you that you didn't know, trying to offer you candy.
Right.
And it would be rare that kids got kidnapped. You had milk cartons with kids' faces on it. But now it's just so out of control, they don't even do that anymore.
Nope.
It's
and you were talking about you were talking about the Amber Alert. I have this thing on my phone called metadata. iTunes actually wanted to take it off, but he kept pushing it on there because it's free public information. And basically what metadata is, it gives you exactly when America does a drone strike on another country. So it gives you every day. So I looked back on here, March 3rd. Javner was sleeping near his car when the missile arrived. 3 people were killed. March 3rd again. The second drone strike of the day killed 1 person in Nabian. March 3rd again. In the province of Shabwa, a U.S. drone fired missiles at a car, killing 2 people. March 5th, 3 people were killed while driving through Al Jaf. It was the 4th reported drone strike of the week. So you talk Amber Alerts on this side, people missing, and then America's doing all this wickedness in Syria and Iran and all these other places that they're not telling anybody about.
It's crazy, man. It's truly getting out of control now. And these devils, man, they working that witchcraft real hard on people, man. the brainwashing, getting y'all to think this is just an everyday normal thing now. Nothing you can do.
Yep.
There's literally nothing you can do now.
And the so-called American people, it's funny because they're not bringing up subjects such as Venezuela or subjects such as Haiti, because really they're really testing those sites down there to see what they can do as far as what's going on with the HART program, and then they're also testing what's going on with the money program. All right. And I found this article here dealing with the HARP, since, we're talking about earthquakes and stuff like that. It says the idea behind weather control is simple. This is a terrifying look at the control of weather warfare. A look at HARP. The idea behind weather control is simple. When you think about it simply, when you see and experience a strong thunderstorm with a lot of lightning and thunder, what fact about this storm strikes you the most? Are you not impressed by the powerful display of energy that you witness? Energy is the primary ingredient behind nature's storms. Therefore, you must believe that just perhaps if energy is the most dominant outward factor in all kinds of storms, then energy might be the key factor in creating such storms in the first place. All right? This HART program beams more than 1.7 gigabytes. That's a billion watts of radiated power into the atmosphere. So when you hear about, Matthew 24, rumors of wars and earthquakes in Chile, earthquakes in Oklahoma, earthquakes in Haiti, the so-called white man, the devil, is setting that up because he has a plan, to take this thing over with the whole New World Order situation.
And not only are we talking, like I said, man, y'all, these devils are so jacked up, man. Not once have you heard about Haiti since that earthquake happened. Went on for a hot minute to where they talked about it and everything. They talked about helping the people out when the incident went down. But that shit faded off to the background. Like, they just don't even care about these people anymore. They haven't given you any updates on these people. But now you got an article showing after 3 years, $1.4 billion from Americans. Too many Haiti earthquakes are still victims, and they're still homeless down there. Man, they had people from Red Cross down there even raping them kids, man. They still down there suffering. That go to show you, man, like, the U.S. is not as powerful as it used to be, so to speak.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Salaki, brother.
Go ahead, Salaki. You go ahead.
Yeah, it was also on the news yesterday, man. Like, it's official, man. People got to start raising their prices on beef because of the droughts and stuff that's been happening. People got to raise the price on meat now. Brother just said he went to the store, man, and the turkey just went up 10 cents again.
Yep, in the last month or so. Yep.
Them gas prices. Go ahead, Salaki.
It's almost I think it's almost $5. In the beginning of the year, it was around $4.19, $4.20, something like that. So a 60-cent increase in 1 quarter.
And I wanted to bring out this precept real quick. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So now, people are suffering on a bigger level, man. The earth is overpopulated. There's not enough food to feed everybody. Because the earth it's not resting at all. People are permanently planted where they're at, and the earth will never rest, along with the fracking, with the earthquakes, sinkholes, all these things intertwine. Constant bloodshed. This is the wrath of these devils, man. Those elites. They're playing, this is a big chess game being played out right now. You know, and people need to understand, like, hey, this thing is really getting out of control. Because another thing that's going on here in the U.S. is a big time unemployment. They tell you jobs are out there, but they're the most shittiest jobs. And guess who is at the bottom of that unemployment? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, man, and Native Americans. If y'all have, like, they were doing an article yesterday on the news showing you that, hey, it's real big amongst so-called Negroes. We're the main ones at the bottom, alongside the Latinos and Native Americans. And they were showing like how terrible it's getting. And they're not even talking about people coming out of high school. They're mainly talking about so-called Negroes who are not even getting an opportunity in the job field after coming out of college. Basically, we've wasted our time going to school. Not telling college ain't going to teach you shit, to be honest with you.
Yep.
They're not going to teach you anything. I know that for a fact. Brothers like us, man, we college graduates way before we came to this truth. Yeah. And we suffering right now.
Yeah. I talked to my little brother yesterday. He's not even in the truth. And he was just like, man, I can't wait to get the hell out of school. I ain't learned a damn thing here. I'd rather just go get a job and go get a hustle, because I just feel like I'm wasting my time, wasting my money, wasting my energy, And here he is, he's 21, 22 years old and don't really understand what all this is about. So, and then even my little sister in high school, she was just like, I learn more on YouTube just typing in what I want to learn on YouTube than I do in my classes. And then when I find out something I do learn on YouTube, if it doesn't go with the curriculum, they outcast me. You know what I'm saying? Because, she's having questions about, the history of blacks and Illuminati, all that stuff, and nobody's answering her questions.
It's a damn shame, man. And that's the type of stuff that all they want to do, man, is suck you dry your money, man. When you put you further in debt, man, when you go to school, you'll never get out of debt. Mm-hmm. You will never come out of debt, man, going into college. Because one, when you come out, it don't matter. They could tell you what the biggest field is during the time you're in school. When you come out, all of a sudden that field that you're supposed to be working in it just ain't working out for you. They're not going to pay you any damn thing. Right now, man, they trying to give people like us minimum wage.
Yep.
The middle class is disappearing.
Yep.
And I got another, matter of fact, brother, can you bring this out? Proverbs 29, verse 2.
That's 29, verse 2?
Con.
All right, Con. Hold on real quick. Yeah, I had a friend that went to, the Lincoln Tech Institute situation. And, they promise you a job when you go to those little small schools like that. And when they went to the job fair, you're thinking it's going to be automotive or Firestone. Man, they got job fair with Subway, Domino's, Taco Bell. It's like, we promised you a job. Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
So like I said, man, right now, man, we are in a time of mourning. Like, you can't rejoice over this wicked-ass kingdom, man.
Right.
The U.S. is about to fall, man. I got this other article right now where it's talking about, just global debt in itself. Man, just showing you, man, like how bad it is. Man, they ain't going to have no choice but to try to set up a one-world government. Like I was just mentioning earlier, man, Greece, it ain't just Venezuela going through the shit they're going through, man. It's Greece, Italy. They out there having financial issues, too. In those other places. And it says here in this article, the amount of debt globally has soared more than 40% to 100 trillion since the first signs of the financial crisis, as governments borrowed to pull their economies out of recession and companies took advantage of record low interest rates, according to the Bank for International Settlements. And that's what if people are familiar with them bailouts, man, That's how. Man. People lost out on money, everything, and got screwed over, man, with the FRN.
Yep.
That niggas Spicks and Coons thinks is such a big deal.
Yep. And you know what the problem is with that is the money's going straight to the banking systems because you have the Bank of Americas, the JP Morgans, the Wells Fargos. You don't have any small mom and pop banks anymore, you know, and you know, you can't pull out money like you want to because, you know, they have your money tied up into what they have to, you know, have their businesses set up to do. And I want to read this. This is from Thomas Jefferson's Warning to America. He says, I believe that the banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around the banks will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent, their fathers conquered. The issuing power should be taken from the banks and restored to the people to whom it properly belongs.
Damn, see? Right there all in itself, man. It's like people don't, man, Jake, y'all got, man, Israel better wake up, man. I mean, just, you know, right now, man, this is for the elect, man, but for the rest, for you 2/3, man, y'all have no idea what's going on around you. Some of you just don't understand, like, hey, I'm going through this, I'm going through that right now, but I'll get back up on my feet. This is not like the way it was back in the day, man, where you could just push on through this. It's getting to a point now, man, where it's just impossible to recover financially. I'm going to keep reading this from this article on the Global Day. It says the 30 trillion increase from 70 trillion between mid-2007 and mid-2013 compares with a 3.86 trillion decline in the value of equities to $53.8 trillion in the same period, according to the data compiled by Bloomberg. The jump in debt as measured by the Basel, Switzerland-based BIS is quarterly reviewed is almost twice the U.S.'s gross domestic product. Borrowing has soared as central banks suppress benchmark interest rates to spur growth after the U.S. subprime mortgage market collapsed and Lehman Brothers Holdings Inc.'s these bankruptcies sent to the world into its worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. That's what I had a brain fart on earlier, man. The Great Depression.
Right.
You know what?
The Great Depression.
We're in that point in time now, and it's worse. You know. Then it continues on. I'm gonna read this last sentence here. It says, yields on all types of bonds from governments to corporates and mortgages average about 2%. Down from more than 4.8% in 2007, according to Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, Global Bond Market Index, and these are the motherfuckers that rob people. You know, I remember when Bank of America used to be called Fleet Bank.
Yep.
Before
First sponsor.
God. And all they did was just change the names of the banks.
Yep.
That's all they did. And now that's what people don't get, man. That all that psychological change that you're constantly going through and still don't realize, man, these are the same people robbing you today.
Yep.
Let somebody try to take millions of dollars out that bank. I bet you they don't have enough of it in there to give to you if you truly want to say, hey, let me take all my FRNs out of this bank. Let me put it under my mattress. Yeah, these banks are broke.
Yep. You know, I was with my boss last week, and he had to go to the bank to make a deposit and pull out some money as well. And the most you can pull out is $2,500 per bank at a time. Then you have to go to another location. So he had to go to 2 different locations to pull out $5,000 of his own money.
Of his own money.
Yep. You can only pull out $2,500 at a time.
See, and then
your own money.
And that just goes to show you, man, like this stuff is getting so deep and terrible, man, that Jake is the main ones who don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the main ones talking about let's just get money. But Jake is out there suffering, man, and it's showing.
Yeah. Well, I want to bring this quick precept. You know, this is one of our popular ones, but it's the spirit of America. It's the spirit of Jake in America. Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. You know, regardless of how people act or how people think, in the back of their mind, they know America's being destroyed. But they love this place so much. They love Egypt. They love slavery so much that they don't want to even speak about it until they see it, see it visible come to fruition, and you can kind of see Jake is kind of running around on a hustle more, we're down here in Texas, so things move a little bit slower than on the East Coast or the West Coast. But you can kind of see Jake is starting to get more into a hustle mode. Like, I got to get it. They're starting to understand how this Obamacare is going to affect them. How it's going to penalize their taxes and stuff like that. So they're all looking for second type of jobs. They're all looking for different types of income without trying to deal with the problem. And I want to read this part of this article. This is from SHTFplan.com, which is shithitsthefan.plan.com. Game changer. It will be shocking for the average American. Your cost of living will quadruple. All right. Because I was reading an article earlier today, and I'm going to get it pulled up, Tazawam, that we are actually 17 trillion in debt now. By the time Obama leaves, it's going to be 20 trillion. It would take 100 billion. If we paid 100 billion, it would take us 176 years to pay that off. Of course, you already know damn well that's not going to happen, And it said here, it will be shocking for the average American if the petrodollar dies and the U.S. loses its reserve currency status in the world. There will be no middle class. So you're basically wiping out America with that statement right there.
That's right, man. And that's why it's all being played out, man. It's just going to be rich and poor. Then that martial law is going to kick in heavy. You're going to see, we're going to end up looking like them people on the Hunger Games.
Yep.
It's just it wouldn't necessarily, you're in slavery now, and you people accept it for what it is. Yep. And I'm just talking to Israel, man. I don't give a damn about these other nations.
That's right.
Our people accept it for what it is, and y'all just think y'all gonna do like it was back in the slavery days, just sing a few church songs and gather together and just love, and we gonna get out of this. No. Daniel 12 states otherwise. Because y'all are too damn stupid, man. Y'all fall for these sellout false teachers in the churches. Even amongst Israel, man, you got our people, man, who fall for these false prophets out there, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And the brother Yashawamba just brought out, he showed us on the email. I don't know if you saw it. How Al Sharpton was a snitch back in the 80s. He snitched on the whole crime family. And this is who y'all trust in. And he agreed that he did it.
And that's the funny part, because he tries to justify himself in doing that. But it's like, look, man, that man is a snake. Look where he's at right now. He's reached his goal. I guess this is where he was trying to get to put his thing out there on the news and whatnot.
Right.
Because now he was on Morning Joe this morning. Just saying, hey, I did what I did, so the black community is everything. Man, these men have not accomplished anything in the favor of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
That's right.
And then, what makes me laugh, man? You women are going to catch hell big time, because now that they're giving you more freedom to get paid more than a man and be equal to men and all this other stuff, y'all really about to catch hell, man. They got something special laid out for you women. I don't know what it is, but these devils get ready to plot out something hard on you women. Because right now, man, you're getting equal pay. They also don't want the nigger woman up there in the military now be having braids and little ponytails and shit like that. They want your shit laid out flat. You got to iron it and perm it up now.
Mm-hmm.
So you nigger women are done, man. Latino, whoever, man, out of you 2/3, man, y'all done. Another one I want to bring up too is the last thing I want to bring up here is that, man, this World War III is happening, man.
Yep.
These devils, man, get ready to plot out something hard on you clowns, man, and you're not going. Let me read this article real quick. It says here that, it's Ron Paul says that the U.S. has military personnel in 130 nations and over 900 overseas bases. This is not nothing new to us. You go read over this article and stuff as we put it up there, but it's just telling you, man, that this World War III is going down, man. This military is being spread out all over the world. And they constantly got these mercenaries and stuff in these, excuse me, in these other countries, just causing all kinds of chaos and riots and stuff. It's mainly in the Ukraine because that's the big focus right now. And their main goal is to get in Iran. That's their main goal right now. Mm-hmm. Once they get their foot in there, man, all hell is going to break loose, man.
Mm-hmm. And that's pursuant to the it's like your brother. That's the pursuant to that verse, 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, is a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
That's right. That's right. And that's what they get ready to do, man. They get ready to try to swallow everything up. Then these other countries gonna say, "Fuck that. We're gonna shoot these missiles on y'all." And North Korea, man, they constantly doing all types of testing and stuff with their missiles right now, making trades with Russia. China also involved with all that stuff. The Most High, man, is playing everything is happening, man. These prophecies are being fulfilled.
That's right.
Now, along with that, man, that last thing is that chip.
That's right.
People showing you right now, man, they starving so bad in Venezuela, they gotta mark them, they gotta number themselves. Just so nobody cuts in front of them. That's getting terrible, man. And the only way people gonna be able to eat up here in the U.S. is gonna be with that damn RFID chip. Watch when we go into a situation like Venezuela. They're gonna be like, look, only way you're gonna eat now is if you take this chip.
Oh. And that's when all you scoffers gonna get off of these damn comment boards, man. That's when all you scoffers is gonna quit talking shit about the elders and all the brothers that are pushing the chip in sincerity and pushing the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah, because you're really not coming at us. You're coming at the spirit. The 14th Street talking about it's a chip, and Nate talking about, whatever the hell he said it was. It's all y'all are saying that this ain't that. Y'all gonna be the main one. Polite, Sonetter. All of y'all gonna come. Y'all all gonna nut up when it's time for your money to fall off. Ain't gonna be no more debates. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no more conspiracy nuts. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be no more videos about that. That's when, your women, all your women polite, your woman Nate, you know what I'm saying? That y'all let rule over y'all, according to Isaiah 3:12. That's when y'all gonna really nut up and be, oh man, this and that. Y'all ain't gonna be on the streets no more. None of that. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they come to y'all doorstep, y'all gonna bitch up. Half of y'all because you took the 501c3. The other half is because you love the society. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay rested here. You want to stay rested in Egypt. But, we trying to get out of here, man. We trying to get out of here. And if we got to get put on the guillotine, if we got to get sprayed up on a 21 gun salute, whatever, that's what it is, But y'all don't have that kind of faith, because y'all just trying to be the Diddy's of Harlem. You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to be the, get the most views on YouTube and all of that, But, we're going to keep pushing this truth, man, and Lord willing that we the men that, get on those chariots, you know what I'm saying, from the top all the way down. But the chip is here.
A vast virus database has been updated.
And then, I want to read this last scripture, man. We're going to close out. This is Obadiah, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out, and how are his hid things sought up? You know, we're sitting here doing our research right now, and the stuff is on the news. It's out there in the open. We don't have to look at CNN to get the little bullshit about some damn aircraft, man. There's many more other channels and information put out there. You know, we've already been able to prove our heritage and our history, even from the things that have been dug up out of the earth, man. That's one thing. And now, you know, Esau's been even exposed on a whole nother level now. You know, these are no longer conspiracies. These are things actually happening right in front of your face.
Yep.
Whether you choose to believe it or not, whether you choose to believe this word or not. You know, in verse 7, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. All you clowns that the brother just mentioned, man, you naysaying, all polite, all you clowns out there that's just constant in cahoots with these devils, man, they're going to deceive you.
That's right.
And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread had laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. You know, these devils don't care about what your agenda is. All they want you to do is stop us from preaching this word, stop our people from waking up, and all y'all want to do is just bicker about bullshit, man. You know, we're sitting here showing you the truth 24/7, all day, every day, man. The elders are out there literally going so hard, man, from, you know, putting this stuff out there in another language. You know, constantly showing you our history and how we're these Israelites according to the Bible. Showing you the history is there in front of your face. But then you got our people who can't prove a damn thing, but y'all want to try to tell us, you know, that this Bible is from the white man. But yeah, we're talking about his downfall according to scriptures. I ain't never heard of somebody who wanted to preach about, write down about his own suicide.
Right.
You know, about his own arrogancy and how he's going to fall. Y'all can't debunk any of this. But with that, we're going to close out, giving all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the elders and the brothers preaching this truth in sincerity, and shalom.
Shalom.
Clock out.
It's like a circle that never stops. Wake up, put on your top, pray up, put on your socks. Walking out the door, soar straight up. Hook on the lights, 12-hour shift, double stay up. The scraper pot, it's a blind man's heaven, a wise man's fury. Sit to be a judge, but still judge, no jury. Holding on to the truth, still rehearsing them purely steady, holding on to faith. Praying that we move securely in a place of illusion. Nothing is ever real, still caught up in confusion and giving the image heel. In a place of delusion, living for every meal, where the eye is the faith of a snake in a dollar bill. In a place full of sodomy, folly and war, terror, more disgrace and hypocrisy, mockery, horse fetish. A state full of zombies and monarchy, Rome settings will display arrogance to make prophecy more better.